YouTube, man, what's going on? It's LNH back with another video. And yes, you read that correctly. Man, Bryce James just broke the internet. Now, this dude did something very interesting yesterday that a lot of people are talking about. Now, if you guys don't know, he finally made an Instagram. And I've been saying this for a while now. If you guys didn't remember, Bronny James actually had the same type of rule in place. LeBron did not allow him to hop on social media like that on Instagram until he was 14 and graduated from 8th grade. And if you've been watching any of my other videos, I had predicted this and actually stated that Bryce James was actually going to be on Instagram very, very soon. And guess who guessed correctly? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited to see some more clips of this guy because I want to see him more on the court. Of course, him being in 8th grade and not having an IG, in my opinion, we really didn't see as much footage as I would like to see of this dude. Now, in addition to this, of course, being in 9th grade, and he's going to be playing for Sierra Canyon, which means him and Bronny are both going to be at Sierra Canyon at the same time. I'm really excited to see them play. Now, it's gonna be really exciting to see Bryce get on the court because, of course, a lot of people are saying Bryce may end up being the brother that is better and one of the best in the family, but I don't know if we can say better than Bron. Of course, that's the tough thing right there, and that's what everyone's striving to be. But in this case, of course, with Bryce probably being a little bit bigger than Bronny was, and he seems like he may develop into one of these guys who's strong but also pretty athletic. Now, in addition to this, of course, height is another huge factor that can really determine your basketball future, in my opinion. And from what we've seen, man, Bryce is probably around 6 feet tall. I know a lot of people have even been saying maybe 6'2". It's really tough to tell at this point, but I would say he's at least 6 feet right now, and he definitely looks like he's been working on his game. Now, of course, he's been playing up against older competition. He was playing in 13U, playing against 15U, and I love to see that because, of course, when he was playing with Strive for Greatness, which is Bron's team, that's only going to make you better. Playing up against that better competition, it's going to prepare him for that high school comp, and I really want to see how he performs. Of course, we saw Bronny James play and how that hype carried over, but I really want to see Bryce, and maybe we can compare him to Bronny at that same age and really be able to tell who is the better brother and who's going to end up being better overall. Of course, Bronny James just coming back, and a lot of people are talking about this dude. But I'm really excited to see Bryce hop on the court and show what he's made of. I think he honestly has a ton of talent in his show thus far, but I think the thing that really separates him from Bronny and other players is that shooting ability. We've seen, of course, Bronny James shoot the ball, and he's a pretty good shooter, and he's pretty athletic, but it just seems like Bryce is the one that's more well known for his shooting ability. And imagine him playing like LeBron, but being able to shoot the ball very well, even being somewhat of a sharpshooter as people describe him. I think that is going to be a scary sight to see this dude on the court. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, really, what do you think about the two? What do you think about Bryce and how he is going to perform at this next level in high school basketball? Man, I'm sure everyone's going to be covering these games, so I'm sure we will be seeing Bryce a lot more often. But let me know. And man, if you guys didn't check out his IG, Stu's almost around 250K in just a couple of hours. His IG has not been up that long, but that's crazy to me. This dude is really running it up. But yeah, make sure you comment down below. Now, Bronny James, of course, just had his third game back, and it was definitely interesting to see. A lot of people are not liking how he's playing. I got to be honest here. A lot of people are saying, number one, he is not being aggressive enough on the court. And I've been saying this since day one. Bronny James' biggest problem is not his talent. This dude clearly can play the game of basketball, but having that motivation and aggression really to get after it is a huge issue for him. Now, people even saying he was playing like Ben Simmons and not looking at the basket and was really just more passive on the court. And you guys know that's not going to work at the next level for sure. Of course, Bronny James is only a sophomore. He's only 16 and just came back from an injury. Right, we do know that. But on the other hand, there's going to have to be a time where we really can't make excuses for Bronny. At some point, he's going to have to show up on the court and really show what he's made of. And really, we're going to be able to determine, is he that guy? Is he really one of these guys that's going to be a very good player in the future? Or maybe is he not going to meet our expectations like a lot of people thought he would? Now, of course, these are really high expectations because who are we comparing comparing him to LeBron, of course, and it's tough like that. But definitely Bronny James honestly has had some questionable games in my opinion. And I believe in this most recent game, he only scored around 3 points in that game with 1-3, and he just really didn't seem like he was focusing on scoring. Now, Amari was the one, of course, focusing on scoring, and he looked like he was getting after it, but I really just didn't see that fire in Bronny that I know he has. Now, in addition, there's people like Michael B. Jordan and Drake pulled up again, but man, I think there's one thing that a lot of people are missing here, and it's the pressure that is on Bronny James. Remember, this guy is only 16 years old, and we are putting a ton of pressure on a 16-year-old who's only a sophomore, really being able to perform every single night. Of course, yes, he did just come back from an injury, but man, I really see why Bronny James likes to be in phase, play video games, and do all these other things as an escape from basketball, because look at how much pressure he has. I mean, he's having Drake, all these celebrities come to his games. People are expecting him to perform and really go crazy on the court, and we don't even know, in my opinion, if Bronny really wants to play like that at the future level. Now, of course, if he does, these performances are not going to cut it. That's no doubt about that. Scoring 3 points in a game is really not going to get it done. Man, if you're doing other things on the court, like getting a ton of assists, maybe rebounds, steals, whatever, maybe we could cut some slack here. But I think there is a certain point in time where, man, especially in high school, you really got to get buckets. The competition, of course, being at Sierra Canyon is pretty good, but you still got to be going crazy because it's only going to get harder the next level you go. And that's the one thing with Bronny James. We know he's going to get to college, and odds are this dude is probably going to go to college, being that LeBron James is about that education. Now, with that being said, it's not really the issue of him going to a college to play basketball or not. The biggest issue here is how he will perform, and really, is he going to be good enough to make it at the next level? And I think a lot of people are questioning his talent, skill, and ability as of right now from these 3 games, just because, in my opinion, I believe the highest game he had was about 7 points, which is not bad. Of course, yes, he is just coming back, but there is a lot of improvement and a lot of things that he's going to need to work on if he's going to be able to get to the next level. But again, I don't think it's that big of an issue because it's more mental than anything. It's just that aggression that he needs to have to be able to go and really get after if he wants to really take this basketball thing very seriously. Now, besides having a ton of pressure, I think Bronny James' other biggest issue is he, in my opinion, does not play well when he has other really good players on his team. Now, let's take a look at it. Even think when he was playing back in AAU with somebody like Mikey Williams or even Dior Johnson, we really didn't see Bronny James go crazy on the court in those games. I really didn't see him play that well, or as well as I know he can play. Now, imagine and look at when he was playing for AAU with the Blue Chips. That team, of course, not being as good. And that's when I really saw Bronny show what he was made of. He was looking a lot more aggressive, and that's the player that he needs to develop and really work on. But he is clearly a player who, when he plays with really good competition on his team, it's not even as much who he's playing against. When he has that really solid comp with his team, of course, Amari Bailey, you got a ton of guys that can go score the ball. He tends to kind of shy away and not play as good. And that's Bronny James' biggest issue that he's going to have to work on. Now, again, it's not a talent issue. It's really a mental thing. He's just going to have that aggression to go after it. And no one can do that for him. At the end of the day, you can dribble the ball as many times as you want, do drills, focus on your jump shot, do all these things. But if you don't fix this mentally and really get that type of aggression and not be passive on the court, man, I don't see good things happening in this case. I really don't see it because, of course, man, the next level only gets harder. So it's really these stepping stones. But again, he has time for this. He is only a sophomore. And again, people say we're making excuses, but at the end of the day, he still really does have time. But hopefully he can develop that really mentality, that Mamba mentality, to just go after and really get buckets and show people what you're made of and not really care about anything on the court. And I know it's in there, but it's going to take some time for him really to get that going. You guys let me know in the comments down below, man. Do you think I'm right? Do you agree with me? Is Bronny James too passive on the court? Is he too passive? And does he have a lot that he needs to work on? And do you agree with me that he doesn't play as well when he has really good players and scorers on his team? And of course, he's getting less touches when that happens as well. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications, get a notification every time I upload a new video. So LNH, I'm out.